hell! Hey! No!
Please. I love you.
Dead! Good!
All right, have and have not fans, last night was the night, the final episode of the Haves and the Have-Nots for Season 6, as well as the last episode for 2019. The show allegedly is returning for its deadliest season in 2020. And just a quick disclaimer, I have no earthly idea why there's a large amount of people on social media saying that last night was the final episode. Guys, it's not only was the show confirmed last night to be returning in 2020, guys, let's be honest here, we can assume it's coming back in January, but the cast is in Atlanta right now filming for both season 8 and season 9. So let me just say right now, the show is not canceled. Last night's episode, Show and Tell, was not the last episode. It was the last episode of season 6 and the last episode of 2019, but the show is returning in 2020. Not only that, why are there people saying it was a 2-hour episode or finale? That wasn't the case. I even did a quick video yesterday saying, hey, I know there's some people out there saying it's 2 hours, but it's not. But as I go into the review of this episode, I'm not going to lie, I definitely think it should have been at least 90 minutes long, but I'll get into that once I get into the episode review. But this episode review, for one, let me just thank everyone for being patient. It really did warm my heart to see a bunch of people hitting me up last night on social media. It's like, yo, I can't wait for your review. It was a great episode. And that just, humbled me, because once again, it really made it, or solidified my feelings that people really do depend on me when it comes to this show in regards to getting and they value my thoughts and opinions and theories. That really means a lot. So this review, I wanted to take my time. That's why I did not rush to put it out. I watched the episode twice last night. I did an Instagram live and a YouTube live stream because I wanted to talk with people before I did a review. Even had my mom's off work from today until next Monday, so we had a 30-minute phone call this morning. I'm going home tomorrow morning for the 4th of July, so that's why I'm doing this video. I'm doing a few videos now. I might record when I'm at home as well, but the episode review had to be the first one. Now, let me just say right now, this wasn't the best episode, and I know people are automatically 10 out of 10. It was like that ending. When I do my grading of these episodes, I don't base it off of one scene. Even if it's the best scene in Haves and Have-Not history, if the rest of the episode was weak, it's not a 10 out of 10. The ending was like a freaking horror movie. The realistic nature of like Catherine's fall into the bathtub, or, just, it was great. But there were a lot of scenes in this episode that were either dumb, the characters being sloppy, or just bad storytelling. Now, believe it or not, this episode, I'm juggling between giving it a 9 or a 9.5 out of 10. Because overall, if I were to look at the last 3 episodes of the season, remember, I gave A New Leaf a 10 out of 10. I gave She's Going to Be Real Mad, which was last week's episode, I think I gave it a 9 out of 10, and this one I'm juggling between a 9 or a 9.5. So let me just say, A New Leaf, I feel, was the best episode of this season. I think that Show Not Tell, last night's episode, I want to say it's better than last week's She's Going to Be Real Mad. So let me just say that, yeah, 9 or 9.5. But looking at the beginning of the episode, and yeah, guys, I know this is a bit of a long intro, but this is a finale. It has to be done right. Once again, they just showed us way too much. Like, I remember they showed that clip of Veronica talking with Justin in the hospital. There was a minute-long clip of those two, and I was going to do a video, Justin Begs for His Life. Number one, I was tired. I dropped like 9 videos yesterday, and I was like, you know what? No, they're dropping way too much. But looking at the beginning of the episode, because they revealed too much stuff already, brief conversation between Jeffrey and David in regards to, Madison and Justin and Veronica, and I will admit, it was pretty badass when David was like getting the guns out from behind the plant. Jeffrey's like, I want to help. There's a gun behind the fern. I'm not going to lie, pretty badass scene. I loved it. Problem though, multiple problems. Number one, The guys burst in. There were over half a dozen goons in there. Why didn't they spread out? Number two, David and Jeffrey were hustling because, remember, David said he was prepared, but we don't know to what extent. We only saw those guns. There's no telling what else he picked up on his way back to the house with Jim, because he said he made a few stops. So those guns could have been the tip of the iceberg. But remember, mid-sentence, the guys burst into the house, so there was no telling what else David might have planned in terms of contingencies. Just keep that in mind. But David and Jeffrey kind of rushed from the room to like the stairway. Why didn't you look over the banister and then start firing right away? Like, why would you wait until you're halfway down the steps and you've been spotted and then start using the guns? Because I think David had two and Jeffrey was seen with the one. And not only do we not see what happened, but Veronica's outside looking at the gunfire. Then she's like, bet that teaches you. I bet you won't try to kill me again anytime soon, son of a bitch. Leaves the cigarette butt and splits. Multiple problems with this. Number one, you left the cigarette butt. DNA traces. That is so un-Veronica-like in terms of her being sloppy. That was just a dumb move. I don't really... Why did you do that? Number two, if you're so... You didn't even confirm that Jeffrey and David were dead. You sent over like half a dozen guys in the house. And I think the only thing she heard aside from the gunfire was, Jeffrey, Jeffrey. So I believe she heard David's voice. Why didn't you wait for it? Did David and Jeffrey kill all the goons? That was just, for Veronica, like, looking like a badass Catwoman, everybody using the Bride of Chucky similarities and whatnot. But I think that was very sloppy of Veronica. Not only assuming they're dead, but on top of that, just leaving the cigarette butt. And once again, you got to pay attention to that kind of stuff. Now, to be fair, the police in this show are something else, because remember, like almost 2 seasons ago, when Malik was sent over there to harass Hannah to get the money to Candice, remember the cops said they were going to come back and get the fingerprints from the kitchen? We've never seen them. Not to mention Malik's body burned up in the van. I'm going to guess that at some point that will come up, because the FBI is doing everything they can to trace everything about Candice. So who knows? Remember, RK and Malik were in Candice's hotel room, and what's his name? Kyle and Scott. They have all the they have all the video surveillance footage from the hotel. So it is possible that they might connect Malik, RK, and Candice together. I don't know, but it's just sad that plot point was just thrown to the wayside. So yeah, Veronica leaves the scene, and then that's the last we hear about David or Jeffrey in the episode, unless you count the end of the episode when Jim's on the phone, but we haven't gotten there yet. All right, so Mitch goes to Jim's house. So at least we see that Mitch goes to get the money, even though Jim off screen must have got the $75,000 from Lloyd at the bank. Remember, we've never seen that confirmed, but it was a great scene seeing Mitch, briefly see Wyatt. You ought to kiss your father for this. And then Jim acting exactly like I would have. It's like, look, so we're good. Nobody's going to come after my son. Yeah, it's over as soon as I go to my family with the money, and I'm going right now. Okay, well, how will I know? Will you get a phone call or anything? Look, trust and believe, I would have been asking the same questions. But no, they should be good to go. So Mitch leaves, and that's it. And Wyatt, being an ungrateful bastard, could have at least said thank you. But then again, who am I to expect that from Wyatt? But pretty much setting up the gun at the end, the whole thing about, yeah, you know what, I'm going to get the money when you two die, yada, yada, yada. So there's that. Basically, Jim wants to take him upstate to rehab. And it's kind of funny because you have Jim, who wanted to put him in rehab right away, but he didn't want to put Amanda in committed like Catherine wanted so long ago. So after that, we have a brief scene between Broderick and Catherine. Really nothing. It wasn't a bad scene because, number one, I'm glad it didn't go on for as long as I thought it would, but I'll be back tomorrow. Do you like me? If I was broke, well, would you be this nice if you were broke? That's pretty much it. Like Catherine, I'm going to be honest here. Catherine had no reason to leave aside from setting up what happened at the end of the episode. She literally had no reason to leave. But I wonder what Broderick's going to do now. Veronica goes to the hospital, briefly sees Keisha. I mean, that was a brief exchange there. Gets the room number, goes to Justin, and pretty much begging for his life because she's not through with him yet. I'm going to let you heal, and it'll be round 2. You thought the first round was bad. wait until the next one. It was some pretty good stuff. I mean, just Veronica taunting Justin, trying to get back at him for everything he did to her. Well, pretty much just the backhand. Still curious if she's going to put two and two together about him being the one to try to run her off the road. She's seen his truck. She has at least one or two, like a police officer and then a contact of hers looking into who actually attempted to run her off the road. So I wonder what she's going to do once she gets confirmation that Justin was the one that did that. Very curious, but I will admit I love how we're getting more internal dialogue within the show of Veronica referencing herself as the queen. I like that aspect of it. I'm sorry for hitting the queen. I don't mean my son. I mean myself. That was pretty good. But she's not going to leave Justin. I mean, what? It's like, I'll leave Jeffrey alone. All I was trying to do was love him. See, that's that shit right there that got you messed up in the first. She sounds like a mom that's like cutting her son, like a toddler child in the store up for acting up. It's like, didn't I tell you to sit your when she did that, I lost it. It was funny. But I guess we're really seeing more of the homophobic nature that Veronica has stemming back to catching William with another man. So we're really seeing that being played out in that scene. So I really did like that. And then Veronica leaves and sees Madison in the hallway. I could have done without this part, though. Veronica just ripping into Madison, because Madison was doing exactly like I said. I predicted it. He would go check in on Justin because he knew Veronica would be up to no good. You need to use some liner. You have those things on your eyes. They make you look older than I am, and I'm twice your age. And did we really need that? I mean, I don't think it was necessary. I mean, it's like, oh, you want to check on him now? Okay, well, maybe you two get together and leave my son alone. That was a good line. But I think Veronica was too far up. Her head was too far up her own ass, especially when you were so incredibly sloppy during the beginning of the episode. Not to mention, it's like I was under the assumption that, oh man, she would tell Justin that Jeffrey's dead, and it's like his whole world is gone and now he wants to off himself. Nope. But then we get a decent Madison Justin scene. I'm sorry, I know you hate me and this and that. She's going to kill me. Well, let me tell security, no. Can you stay with me? I'm like, hell no. Because what Justin was doing with Madison really reminded me of what Wyatt was doing to Jeffrey back after he OD'd and he was in the hospital, and he wanted Jeffrey to stay with him, but Jeffrey wouldn't do it because it was like, I'm going to be his drug in the place of drugs. Like, he will rely on me, but he needs to rely on himself, hence why he put him in rehab. But in this situation, it's like, at first I thought Justin was actually being somewhat sincere, but at the same time I'm like, nah, he's doing that manipulation game he always does with Jeffrey. And here's the part where I just like, you know what, Justin, I'm done with your ass. It's like, I lost everything because of Jeffrey. I'm just misunderstood. Shut the hell up, Justin. Shut up. I'm going to be honest here. He could have died in this episode. I would have been completely fine. Like, literally, it's like, what the hell? You're still on this thing about Jeffrey. You did this to yourself. Okay, technically you didn't do what your current predicament is to yourself because Veronica arranged for it. It was just the punishment, or excuse me, the appetizer, not the full course or entree, because you backhanded her. So, I mean, if he's still on this Jeffrey thing, like I said, and this is why I'm glad Jeffrey didn't go to Justin's room in the last episode, because if he would have went, then he would have tried to guilt Jeffrey into like, you're the one, this is all your fault. Like, I'm just done. But like Madison's like, you're a patient. Yeah, I might not like you, but you're still a person. And that's what Jeffrey was saying at the beginning of this episode and the last episode, despite Justin being who he is, like, it's something that you really shouldn't wish upon anyone. I agree with that, but at the same time, Justin still hasn't changed. And the only reason he's being so apologetic and everything is because he's afraid of his life. He's afraid for his life, and he's in a very vulnerable position. But we know good and well if Justin was at full strength or, full health, he wouldn't be against busting people upside the head and destroying people's property and pointing guns at people's heads. So I don't feel bad. And that goes back to the beginning of the episode when Jeffrey was talking with David. And no, I didn't really talk about that a lot, because if you watch my other video about is David prepared for Veronica's revenge, I went into full detail because they released that clip early, going back to the whole, they talk about, they reveal too much in these previews and everything. Then we get to a scene which I feel like was way too long. They definitely could have shaved it off. RK at Catherine's house, him and Wyatt, earrings for the drugs. Why did he not put the earrings in his pocket? Why did RK not put the earrings in his pocket? I did like the funny little sprint he did right when Catherine came up. And then when he's like, I'm a black belt, and then he started doing like stupid karate. But this scene just felt out of place. And yeah, like I praise RK usually for the comedic nature and whatnot in the midst of serious situations. But in regards to a season finale, I don't think this scene was necessary. Guys, I'm fully aware it was set up for what's going to go down. It's like, we got to establish the drama between Wyatt and his parents even more. And we need to really get down to him having a big vendetta for killing them and everything. But this is another part of sloppy character writing, aside from the RK with the earrings thing. I did like the, if I catch you bringing my son drugs anytime again, any more times, or again, I'll have you killed. I'm like, oh, damn. Okay, so when Jim and Catherine leave Wyatt's room, sit there. Why the hell did nobody go back in the room to search for the drugs? I know that Wyatt was trying to throw RK under the bus, but think about it realistically, Jim. Why would Wyatt give earrings to RK unless he had drugs? So I love Catherine's attitude. It's like, I'll throw you over this banister. I'm like, damn, Catherine's going to pull a Jeffrey with Veronica there. And it's like, could you please go look at your jewelry? And then Jim just goes off. Why did you not check for the drugs? Why? And then I did like Jim coming to Catherine's defense, like, don't put your hands on your mother. Don't touch your mother. Don't touch your mother. But then, you know, Wyatt pulls the drugs underneath the mattress. Reminded me of when Amanda had her gun. Catherine was looking through the room but couldn't find it. But then when she left, Amanda pulled the gun out from underneath her pillow. Okay, so he goes into the bathroom and gets high, obviously. So let's see. Then we get to Hannah's place, and yeah, we're going to talk a lot about this part. So Mitch comes up to talk with Benny. You know, Candice, Benny, and Hannah just had dinner. You know, if it's Derek out there, don't let him in. And then Candice begins to ask questions. So does Benny. So Benny goes outside with Mitch, but I'll talk about it in a minute. I did like the Candice and Hannah scene. I really do like the dynamic between these two. Not sure how long it's going to last, but I do like it that they're actually talking with each other. Like that one time when Candice like, are you really going to go there when it comes to her being evil because of what happened in the past with men? Hannah's like, I'm not trying to go anywhere. I'm just trying to discuss, you know, like we've both been through a lot with men, and, you know, that really explains like our current state of personalities and being. I like the conversation. Not all men are dogs, but we can relate because we've both been through a lot. And I like that conversation. And then the fact that she told Candice that Derek is her father. I'm like, thank you. I think this is going to lead to a mini story arc possibly where Candice is actually going to look for her father behind Hannah's back. Not in a malicious way, but maybe she actually tries to find Derek without Benny, of course. 'Cause I'm glad he has nothing to do with this. So I did really like the scene between Candice and Hannah there. Let's see. Don't tell Benny. Being evil. Okay, so yeah, now we get to Mitch and Benny. And when Mitch gave him the good news, I was like, that is freaking awesome. And then he's like, yeah, you're my only family that I trust, and gives him a hug. And I'm like, man, I ain't gonna lie. I wanted to hug Mitch right then and there. If I could reach to the TV, I would have hugged Mitch right then and there. But let's keep in mind, despite how this was a great scene, Benny got his own ass in trouble. Remember, early 2018 in season 5, Mitch was repeatedly telling this fool, don't get involved with my family. Hey, you saved Veronica's life. That chick's into you. Get her to give you the money, this and that. He had multiple opportunities to say no to Malone. Even when he was down there with Vinny, had the money, and Vinny was, Mitch was like, hey, look, as soon as you step out of the bar, that's it. But you can still get the money back right now and you'll be good to go. But then Benny just leaves because he gets a phone call from Veronica. So yeah, I don't feel sympathetic for Benny. It was a happy scene though, because remember, Benny has been treating Mitch like trash. Remember when it came down to him even saying, hey, why don't you take a loan out so you can cover my loan? It's like, I can't take that money unless I'm part of the family. Well, how bad would that be? So Benny would have been willing to throw Mitch under the bus because remember, he doesn't want to have anything to do with his family in that kind of business. But Benny was more than willing to let Mitch take that sacrifice of Mitch getting his own ass out of the fire. So Mitch is, again, one of my favorite characters for a reason. But remember, he did say way back in like earlier this year that if by some miracle he and Benny get out of this mess, then he's going to owe him. And given the fact that he was asking about Candice because he saw everything on the news and wanted to talk with her, I think that's set up for Mitch wanting Benny to hook him up with Candice. But, you know, Benny's like, now's not a good time. She's been through a lot. Well, tell her I said keep her head up. Yeah, he's definitely into Candice, and I bet that might be the favor that he wants from Benny later. Then Benny goes back inside, and this is another part of the episode that was just downright stupid, and I think we all know what I'm talking about here. So Benny just got his ass dragged out of the fire that he threw himself into thanks to Mitch. And Hannah said one of the greatest lines. Is like, okay, well, all we need to do now is because, Benny tells him about how Mitch, helped him out and he's good to go with the family. And it's like, well, all we need to do now is, give the money back to Jim and then we are fine. Accurate, but that doesn't explain who's going to take care of the negative $4,000 bank account balance you and Benny have. But in any case, Hannah's like, oh, in the morning, I'm going to the Artesian Hotel for an interview for a job. I'm like, finally, Hannah's going back to work and now Benny needs to do the same damn thing. Then we have the conversation I've been dreading, Benny talking with Candice about keeping the money. Candice is trying to go straight. She's realizing that the consequences of her past actions are how she got into her current situation. Why would she keep the money? Benny is the last person that needs to be telling somebody about keeping money or taking money that he knows isn't his, because he literally just got out of a situation. And I will admit, I did like that he was thinking that, Candice needs to take care of herself and just leave. I don't blame you if you disappear in the morning, but that's just running away from your problems. And guys, remember, the FBI is still trying to come after Candice. So even if she split the state or whatever, this is the federal government. They will find her. Keep that in mind, because even though I'm glad Candice is trying to move forward and everything, remember, as RK said, shit's hitting the fan. This is only the tip of the iceberg. Her being exposed on the news and everything, that is only the tip of the iceberg. The FBI is still coming after her. Just wanted to put that out there. But basically, Benny's like, oh, I'll take care of Jim. Jim is not, well, he's proven to be dumb in some occasions, but after that ass beating you gave him, which was a great scene, he's going to know not to do the same thing twice. He's going to send someone else after you, man. But let's see here. Disappear. Basically, Benny's still thinking like Hannah, like, well, you can't give up the hustle. Basically, Benny is, I can see why he isn't willing to fully believe that Candice is turning over a new leaf, so to speak. But at the same time, I will look at it from his perspective, that all the times that Candice did say she was going to change but didn't, I can understand that. I just don't like how he's being a negative influence on someone who's trying to do the right thing, especially when somebody just saved his ass. That's my opinion there. But then Mitch goes to his family. Yeah, we're almost at the end. All we got to do now is talk about Mitch, Vinny, and Sandy Malone at the bar, and then the end of the episode with Wyatt. So we're hanging tight. We're almost there. And also, just a quick thank you, guys. I mean, I know I was going to say this for the end of the video, and I might say it a few more times in my other have and have not videos, but thanks for making this a great season to discuss. Like, I really do want to thank everyone for being a part of this channel, whether it being, messaging me on Twitter, Instagram, and whatnot. But I really do appreciate the support. Like, we hit 84,000 subscribers last night after the finale. So we are getting there. 100,000 is looking closer each day. But I just wanted to do a quick segue and say thank you. But Mitch goes to Vinny. Haven't seen him in a while. I don't know why. I just like the scene, him just reading glasses, casually reading the paper. I don't know why. It was just a laid back scene. Some people didn't like the scene. I actually liked it. I think the only thing people didn't like is Vinny asking for more money from Benny, but Mitch squashed that right away. But he gives the 50,000 for the crier kid, then the 20,000 for Benny, or excuse me, the black kid, and had Sandy Malone call Will to call off the hits. And then he's like, well, he's late. That's $5,000. Okay, I got that. I was kind of mad because I wanted Mitch to keep at least that $5,000 for himself, but he probably had foresight about it being late, which how the Malones do their interest and late fees, I will never know. They probably took lessons from Sally Mae. Trust and believe, student loan payments suck. I'm living it right now. But yeah, so he gives them money back and he's like, yeah, you ask for more money, be greedy, I'll tell Mama Rose on you. And I was like, okay. So I was disappointed we didn't see Mama Rose. IMDb sucks. But we did get a name drop, so that was something. But basically, the hits are called off. Curious where the money came from. And I'm like, well, you know that he had the money in his account somehow, probably because the Malones have connections at the bank. So why wouldn't you know that the money was taken out of Benny's account? But whatever, they called the hit off, so Benny's safe. So is Wyatt. So then we get to an interesting part, and that's, trying to give Mitch his cut of the money, but he doesn't want it. And basically, he's like, look, eventually you'll be coming back to the family, meaning that there was a time when Mitch was involved with his family, not just when he arranged for Warlock to be killed, but obviously in his past, there have been connections where he's been a full-time Malone, but he stepped away from that lifestyle. So I think that the Malone subplot in season 7 might be more Mitch focused. But I mean, at this point, if they're no longer after Benny and Wyatt, then I think at this point they should be relegated to Mitch. I don't really see a reason for the Malones to be coming after anyone yet. I mean, once again, you never know. But yeah, at this point, they should be in the clear. So I really did like the scene. And we can't have a Sandy cameo without messing around and talking shit about Mitch's cars. That was pretty funny. Then we get to the end of the episode. Now, Captain's on the phone with Derek about how, he was Hannah was the only woman that he actually took advantage of when he was younger. I was high, I didn't recognize her. Oh, one thing I didn't talk about was Hannah being a bit upset that, Derek didn't remember who she was, but even Derek said I was high. So, I mean, I'm not downplaying what he did or trying to relegate how Hannah's feeling, but, he did tell you that he was high. He robbed a liquor store trying to get more money for drugs. Then he went to jail. Then when he sobered up, he realized that he had assaulted someone but couldn't remember who. So that, does explain a lot. But in any case, we know that Catherine was on the phone with Derek getting in the tub. Then David, guys, I think we can assume that Jim was on the phone with David. I hope you understand how serious this situation is, David. Well, do you know where she is now? I need you to stay calm, cool, and collected. So then Wyatt gets his gun ready, and, he gets ready to shoot Jim, and boom, shot him. Here we get to stupid territory again. Catherine hears a gunshot, then runs to the sound of the gunshot, and I'm like, what? Why are you doing that? Then, just like in typical horror movie fashion, someone has to trip over nothing. And I will admit, it was a sad scene when Wyatt shot his mom because she was begging and saying, I love you, Wyatt. Then the realistic shot of her taking a bullet to the chest or whatever, then falling over into the pool. That explains why we didn't see any blood, guys, because they didn't do a close-up of the water. We only saw her legs and her head underwater. So, her legs in the air and like her head underwater, we didn't see the blood. Then Wyatt goes outside because the cops are there. People are asking why the cops showed up. Remember, George, and after the grand jury thing where Wyatt testified, they were indicted, so they could have been arrested at any time. So that's why George and the police showed up. They could have showed up at any time. So instead of going to a room where she could lock the door or whatever to buy time for herself, Catherine goes back to the bathroom for some reason. Once again, it made no sense. But then Wyatt, who comes outside with the gun, because we can assume he was high from the drugs he took in the bathroom. So Wyatt comes outside with the gun behind his back. Wyatt, where are your parents? They're dead. Gun. Boom. So basically, Wyatt got the black man treatment. Like, look, no disrespect to cops. I'm not a cop. But, I mean, Wyatt did have the gun and he did get shot, but he wasn't firing the gun at anyone. Look, like I said, there's enough cop versus civilian violence going on. So I am in no way, shape, or form trying to downplay it. But Wyatt held the gun, not aiming it. So then he got shot. Is that how it works? I do have several friends in law enforcement. I will ask them myself. And of course, I'll do a video about whether or not they're really dead. But that was a bit overkill, no pun intended. But the question of the day, folks, is, are they really dead? Let me just say this much. I would not be surprised if this was a drug-induced dream that Wyatt had. Because for Tyler Perry to kill off the entire Cryer family made no sense whatsoever. I think this was definitely a major cliffhanger to keep us hanging on until 2020. Honestly, I'm glad the show's going to be gone for a while, because if the show was announced to come back in August, I don't think that cliffhanger would have had the same level of impact. It's like, oh, we only got like 4 weeks until it comes back on. I think this was a great way to segue into 2020. Yeah, it's going to suck because we got like 6 months, but we got a lot of other Tyler Perry stuff coming up on BET, not to mention Ambitions, which will be the new forefront of this channel until Greenleaf comes back in September. So we got a lot of things to look forward. The Oval, Sisters, BET Plus has Tyler Perry's new show Ruthless. So we will not be bored. This channel will still continue on because I'm not going to lie, my heart sank a little bit. I'm like, damn, 2020, because I'm hoping this doesn't slow up the momentum for the channel hitting 100,000 subscribers within the next couple of months, but it'll happen. It will happen. But overall, the episode was decent, but it wasn't amazing. I think that you made it this far in the review. I've already talked about the things I didn't like the beginning. I feel like the beginning shootout was definitely downgraded once we got to the end. A lot of people online were saying, man, once we got to the end of the episode, I forgot about everything else that happened. And that actually does say a lot. Because aside from the beginning where there was the shootout where we really didn't see anything, the ending of the rest of the episode was just talking. Not necessarily a bad thing. There were some scenes that were way too drawn out, while there were other scenes that really needed to be expanded upon. I honestly think this episode could have done better as a 90-minute episode. But to be honest, they could have made better with the 42 minutes that we had, if that makes any sense. But remember, No Rest for the Wicked, episode 10, was actually the season finale. So this is, according to IMDb, No Rest for the Wicked episode 10 should have been the season finale. So I'm very iffy on how I'm going to judge this one, but I think that in terms of shock factor and everything, I will confidently give this episode a 9.5 out of 10, even though there were a lot of things that didn't make sense, because Hannah told Candice about Derek. That wasn't drawn out. We actually heard Derek over the phone, even though we haven't seen him physically on screen since the beginning of this season, where he was in the kitchen with Hannah. The Veronica scenes with Justin was my favorite one. I actually liked just the horror movie value or thriller. The acting during Wyatt going around with the gun, very well done. Vinny, Mitch, and Sandy Malone, I like that scene. I think that's definitely set up for what's to come. Honestly, and Mitch getting the money and everything. I think a 9.5 is a bit too high despite the number of complaints I had. But in terms of the aftershock, the fact that people are just in awe over the episode, I think 9.5 is fair. So yeah, New Leaf, 10 out of 10. Show Not Tell, 9.5. And then She's Going to Be Real Mad, a 9 out of 10. So overall, pretty solid. So just to show you that I have more videos on the way. Sorry, paper rustling. I just want to pull out my list here. Yeah, just to kind of give you a little taste. Look, on my list, I got 16 have and have not videos from this episode alone. So trust and believe, even though the show is off, there's plenty of content to talk about. Once again, they're filming right now for the next couple of seasons 8 and 9. Season 7 was filmed back in 2018, but we got to wait until 2020 for it, but whatever. So, of course, I'm doing a video now, of course, the finale review. Then I got, just a brief announcement video about the show returning in 2020, my full thoughts on that. Going over this season as a whole, there were only 9 episodes, so I really want to talk about, was this really the most emotional season ever? Mitch and Candice, are David and Jeffrey still alive? The scene between Justin and Veronica, are the criers actually dead? Was it all a dream? I honestly think it was. I think that was like a drug-induced dream by Wyatt. Will Candice look or confront Derek herself? A quick announcement video for Greenleaf, which is returning September the 3rd. Mitch and his family, will he join them? Madison and Justin, will Candice keep the money? Did Wyatt kill Amanda? Because a lot of people are speculating that now, even more than before. Do I feel bad for Justin? Ambitions videos, and then a video ranking all 6 season finales of the haves and the have-nots so far. And trust me, this list isn't even done yet. I have so many things to add, but I just wanted to say once again, I know I mentioned this several minutes ago, but thank you to all the fans on this channel, the new ones who joined along since the season began back in April. Wait, hang on. May, yeah. Who had joined up board in May. I really do appreciate the love, the videos, even the trolls. Thanks for being on here because you're helping the channel with views and comments, even if they're ignorant. But to everybody who supported me on, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, links to everything is in the description below. Just a shout out to you all for being awesome. I know several people won the Instagram contest I had earlier this week. Have and have not DVDs. I actually went to the post office this morning. I had several things to mail off, so all those DVDs are in the mail. Remember, it's the 4th of July tomorrow, so that's going to push back the mail for like a day, so you should be receiving them either later this week or early next week, depending on where you live from Virginia. But the cast, for being an amazing cast, I mean, I think overall this was a strong season, but to be fair, it was only 9 episodes. Some things kind of dragged on while other things went into motion. I definitely feel like the Harringtons were at the forefront of focus this season. We have a lot of things to look forward to, hopefully behind the scene footage, and trust and believe as that stuff is released, I will definitely be covering it here on the channel. Let's see here. There's just so much I could say, but I know this video is long enough, but not the best finale because there were some things I didn't like about it, but definitely a great episode. I did watch it twice. Like I said, this is the season finale. I wanted to do my best to leave no stone unturned, but I think this was pretty solid to end out 2019. But like I said before, I'll do a video talking about the show returning in 2020. And I actually do think that's a good move because Tyler Perry has a lot on his plate. Maybe OWN has reorganized their scheduling, and we know the show is going on to at least a season 9, and it's not leaving OWN. So yeah, that's pretty cool. But once again, guys, if you are new to this channel, this is your first time checking out the Haves and the Have-Nots review, welcome on this channel. I'm a full-time YouTuber. I'm not affiliated with Tyler Perry or Tyler Perry Studios. I'm just a major fan of the Haves and the Have-Nots. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. It really helps out the channel. I'm going to be a bit ambitious, no pun intended, but I'm really hoping, you know what, let's shoot for 90,000 subscribers by the end of the month. Long-term goal is to hit 100,000 subscribers to get the silver play button award. You know, it really would help me out to make it feel like, you know, leaving my job in 2017 to do this full time was the right move. And so far it has proven to be. I've been able to talk with some amazing people, the cast, as well as other fans of the show. On this channel, we don't post full episodes due to copyright. So if you're looking for episodes, get the Watch OWN app or go on Hulu. On this channel, it's called the Haves and the Have-Nots review for a reason, because I review the show. But since the show's off the air, I will be jumping into Ambitions. I have watched the first 2 episodes. Episode 3 came out last night. I will watch it later this weekend. I'll do videos on that show as well. But don't worry, just because the Haves and the Have-Nots is gone for now doesn't mean this channel is going to stop, because going to jump aboard Ambitions, then Greenleaf when that comes back. I will be reviewing that. Then Tyler Perry's new shows on BET, I'll be reviewing those as well. So the Haves and the Have-Not videos might kind of fizzle out over the next several weeks. But guys, the finale is still hot. I'm going to be doing content. But just know that, you know, Ambitions and whatnot, I'll definitely be doing more of those in the near future. So if you can do me a solid favor, give this video a thumbs up. It really does help out. Comment your thoughts below on this actual finale. What did you think of it? Do you agree with my many theories about it being a dream? And do you feel like my nitpicks and complaints were legitimate? I honestly think they do. Not just because I was saying them, because I had a 30-minute conversation with my mom this morning. I've been chatting with other fans online, and we've all been saying the same thing. And if you could share this video around, that would be great. And if you are already a subscriber, thanks so much. But do me a favor, could you share my channel on your social media? Or if you have any have and have not friends within your fans in your friend group or family, just say, hey man, you need to go subscribe to this guy's channel because he talks about the show all the time. That would help me out. Remember, I'm a fan, so I don't have like a massive 100,000 followers on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook. So Tyler Perry and them, you know, they don't share my content, so I have to rely on my fan base and myself to do so. So really trying to hit 100,000. But thank you all so much for tuning in. Once again, great season, more content's on the way, and I will talk to you all soon. And if you watch this video sometime within the next 24 hours, I hope you have a wonderful 4th of July. Like I said, I'm going home tomorrow morning. I'm probably going to be home until next Monday or Tuesday. So if you see, you know, why aren't you doing live streams? It's because I'm at home and the reception is not that good. So yeah, great episode, great season, awesome fans. Talk to you soon. Congratulations on making it to the end of this video. If you like what you just saw, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, or if you have anything you would like to add to the video, make sure to leave your thoughts in the comment section below. If you want to keep up with me on social media, go to the description box. All of my links for social media are right there. Also, if you feel like you would like to donate to the channel, make sure to click on the link to PayPal. Any amount helps. $1, $5, $20. As a full-time YouTuber, any support from my fans really does mean a lot to me. Finally, make sure to hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification icon. That way you're kept up to date on any new content I post to the channel. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you in the next video.